you. morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hope y'all had a great weekend and happy Halloween. Morning, Chris, John, Will, Tony, and Rico. Morning, morning, morning. All right. Let me jump right into it real quick. I have a buy side liquidity up here. I'm expecting price to come up. We'll see if it goes up first, or I have both sides here, so we'll see. We do have 10 a.m. news, but let's go to the weekly chart here real quick. And here on the weekly chart, I was watching this wick right here to see how high up into this wick we would go. Of course, I marked the high and the low. We have this big imbalance here still from last week. So I want to see if we expand, which we are. We open and we're expanding up. So let's see if we finish that way on the day, because then, of course, we would have an open. We would probably make a high somewhere, and then potentially Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday come down, maybe, but we'll see. As you know, we might just keep going up, 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 up. So we'll see. Then the daily chart here. I'm looking at, we went into this Thursday, Friday, bit of a little consolidation here. We're still inside Friday's range. So we'll see if we, sweep that high, get up into this wick right here. I had the midpoint of this wick that I was watching. Then I have this swing low down here on the daily that I'm watching in case we do go lower. Just kind of what I'm looking at on the daily. Of course, we still have all this imbalance down here. And then the 4-hour chart, I'm watching this as well, because if we have by 10 a.m., if this bar closes up, we're going to have a 4-hour fair value gap right here. And we'll see if we take this swing high. Okay, that's what I'm watching there. The 1 hour, kind of the same thing. I'm watching this swing high right here. And then also, I see pretty much right here, right? We took that area right here. This is a new week opening gap. Another one for this current one. Pulled back here, came up. When we took this high, we left these fair value gaps right here, right? So that's where I'm watching. If we do have a pullback, could pull back into this area right in here. And if we're going to be bearish on the week, or not bearish, but have a down close weekly candle, which, like I said, I'm not, way too early to tell. But if that happens, you want everything on Monday to go up, basically. So just kind of watching that. We'll see. Going down to the 15-minute. Here's this area that I'm watching right here for my buy side liquidity. It's pretty smooth there. We made this run down here for that swing low. We had some more smoothness in this area. You can see we did a stop run here, came down. Now we're slowly making our way back up to that buy side liquidity. And of course, you have this big imbalance right here. And so I'm expecting, I want to see what happens once we get into this area. If we get up here, then we'll see what we do from there. It's kind of what I'm looking at. So if I zoom in here, we do have our London range as well that I want to take note of, because a lot of times we do get back into that London range. And right here, we have some relative equal lows. Right here, right here. So I have that marked as a sell side liquidity that I can aim for if we do come down. Now we did, on this open here, create this. So we have some 15-minute fair value gaps in here, right? So you want to be careful about coming down in case if it can't just come back down through that. So we'll see what happens in these. because it might not be able to come back through it. And if that's the case, then we'll just continue up to that buy side liquidity. Because that buy side liquidity to me is the obvious area. So I can mark all these just to see. Took these highs. We have all these 15-minute fair value gaps. Let's see here. Let's check this big opening range gap here. Opened up. Closed there. Opening range gap. There we go. And I want to be patient. Like I said, we have 10 a.m. news as well. So we're leaving another high here. So we're leaving more buy side liquidity up there. I don't want to be too eager to go short yet. Good morning, David. All right, so I want to see how price reacts in this area. I'm not too sure we're going to just come down here and take this sell side liquidity and all that. We may, but I like to, because I have a good area. I have this buy side liquidity up here. Then I have this sell side liquidity down here. I like for it to at least go and take one side of it. Yeah, y'all, Apex, I'm sure y'all have seen by now, Apex has $40 PA accounts right now. That's insane. $40 PAs. So, y'all, if y'all can get PA accounts right now, now is the time to load up. I couldn't believe it. I wish I had some ready that I could just pay for. I'll be doing some more giveaways pretty soon. So I'll keep y'all up to date on that. Some more eval giveaways. For those of y'all that are in my Discord and those of y'all that are not in the Discord, if y'all didn't see the conversation Friday with Will about the 15-second chart that I had with him, y'all might want to check that out. And Will, definitely appreciate the wisdom on that and the knowledge, and the willingness to talk about that. That was good stuff there. I did some back testing on it. Yeah, it's a lot of what I was wanting to look for, and I just never got around to doing it. So, yeah, 20 PAs for $800. That's insane. Usually that's like, a couple $1,000. All right, so for now, so we went straight through those 15-minute fair value gaps. I'm actually wanting it to just keep going down and take this sell side liquidity and get into right into this 1 hour fair value gap, into this area. Morning, Greasy. How's it going? Like I said, we have 10 a.m. news as well, so we want to remember that. Now this is going to be my buy side liquidity, since I have this ultimate buy side liquidity up here at 291.25. But Friday, this was Friday's high right up here at 274. We just ran up to 266. So that's a 8-point difference there. I think we'll eventually make our way back up there. So we'll see. We will see. Back into that London range. I think we just rebalanced that 4-hour potential fair value gap. Nope, not yet. It has to come all the way down to the midnight open, basically, to rebalance that. And we have 16 minutes. So we'll see what happens there. All right, right down to that London high. We have this little fair value gap right there as well. Like I said, I want to see it at this point go ahead and come down and take this sell side liquidity where we had some relative equal lows. This would be more of a internal range liquidity here. If you take this dealing range right here from this high to this low, right here, right at about this, the 50% right here, this would be equilibrium. And I have that sell side liquidity right underneath it there. So that would be some internal range liquidity of this dealing range right here. So you got the high, you got this low, equilibrium is this purple line here, and then this would be some internal range liquidity right there. So we'll see if we take that out there, and then I'd be looking to see if we end up coming up to that buy side up there. I'm working on that, John, on the eval codes. All the eval codes, I think the eval codes that I gave out might have expired in Well, they were all good except for one, so I'm getting it worked on. I'm talking to the marketing with Apex about some eval codes right now. All right, let's see. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to get faked out yet. I really want it to come down to this 132.25 at least first. Into this 1 hour fair value gap that I have marked. Look where all these wicks are going here. Look where all the bodies are. And we might, I mean, we have a lot of reason to just come down. So but for me, this buy side liquidity up here that I had is pretty obvious. But of course, that doesn't mean it'll get there during my trading session. So we'll see. And there has not been, on this move down, has not been any entry for me at all. So and right there as well, that's the midpoint of the opening range gap. Right at the midpoint of that 1 hour fair value gap. So I'd really like for it to come down to that. But then I want to be careful though, because we do, like I said, doesn't mean it's going to get up here during my session. It's got to be pretty obvious because there's a lot of reason to come down. All those imbalances, everything down there. There's going to be a day that we're just going to go down there. So in that day, I'll just have to, it may not be like a reversal type trade. It might just drop right down there. But I know eventually it's going to come down there. It's not going to just leave all that open forever. Now, what I do, and what y'all have probably seen me do before too, is and this is why I take low-hanging fruit trades, because, for example, today, like, let's say we create this fair value gap right here on the 15-minute. Once we get down to this area, let's say I get a long. I would long and target this 15-minute fair value gap because I could be, it might not go to that buy side today. It could come down into the, and then come back up into this 15-minute fair value gap and then keep going down. So if I have a higher time frame fair value gap or something in my way and I'm long, then, you know, I don't want to try to go through it to aim for an area up here that it may or may not go to just yet. Which there's plenty of room in here for me to get a, you know, a nice trade. So now we took that sell side liquidity. We hit that 1 hour fair value gap. Let's see what happens here. $9.52. Don't forget, 10 a.m. news. You see this fair value gap right here. I always look at this last fair value gap before it took the sell side liquidity. Like that right here. Because if it comes down, takes sell side liquidity, comes up and creates an inversion there, oftentimes that's it. Oftentimes they won't go back down. So I would want to see this become an inversion right there. But also, you'll see a lot of times when you get this action, it just popped down. Look at where the bodies are closing here. You want to be careful because it could do one more stop run. Like, you want it to be obvious. It could come up into here. It could do like that, where it rebalances this essentially, and another stop run to aim a little bit lower. And look, we still have the middle of the opening range gap right there. So you always got to be careful for that extra stop run right here. Yep, that's the one to watch right there. And at this point, and this is like the area too where you want to start, now you want to start looking for your traditional market structure shift, right? Where you have a market structure shift and go, or a breaker. You want to look for a breaker and an inversion in that breaker. And actually this might be, you have this low, high, lower, low. Maybe, unless if we do something else, that might be, could be forming a little breaker here, and this would be the inversion that you'd look for. But I think I don't think this is going to be the low. I still think we're going to do another stop run lower. So definitely want to have patience with that. And we're getting 5 minutes out from news as well. Yep, exactly. Will, this point, we're 5 minutes out from news. Even if you're right, you know how them wicks can wick you. Wicks can do that damage. So seeing how this rebalanced by trading up through that 1 minute fair value gap. But then the body's closed here. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking for a run, another run down into here. And then if we do create a lower fair value gap in here, I want that to become an inversion as well. So And that's what I'm pretty much going to keep my eye open for the rest of the, because if we just keep going down, I may not take a trade. So I'd basically be looking at each area for us to turn around at. Basically in here, right around here. And if we make it past this part, this area, we may just, it would be a low probability trade for me, basically. It looks like we're going to get that 15-minute fair value gap. Now, the one thing with these opening bar, because this is the opening bar where that fair value gap is. If y'all have heard me before say I've done tons of testing on these, and it's got about a 50% rate of trading back through it. Because normally you'd say, oh, well, you know, we took these lows, came down, left a fair value gap, maybe come back up to it and trade lower. If it's the opening bar, meaning 930, there's about a 50. If there's reason to go higher, I've come to the conclusion that this gap right here gets traded through about 50% of the time. So it's not one that I'm like, oh, we have to, it's going to hold up where we trade up into here and just keep going lower. Now, if there's an underlying narrative to go lower, of course, I'd probably think it's going to go lower. But, you know, otherwise, just because there's a 15-minute fair value gap right here doesn't mean it's going to keep price below it if there's reason to go higher. So I have reasons on both sides right now. Yeah, and if this just keeps going lower, I'm not going to like a trade in that area that I just, or short or long, in that area I just pointed out. Because, yeah, just like you said, there's potentially some high resistance in that area. Something might work out, but for me, it's just kind of like, I don't want to risk it. I like clean, higher probability trades. All right, we got 1 minute until the news. For those of you that are joining, I've got to say it. Apex has $40 PAs right now. If you can buy a PA today or tomorrow, it ends Wednesday the 5th. So today, tomorrow, or Wednesday, load up what you can. $40. 70 and the evals are 70% off, but I don't know if you noticed, they're also 70% off recurring as well. Lately, they've been 80% off and 50% off recurring. So, yeah, that's good too. All right, we got about 10 seconds. 10 seconds to the news. Let's see what we do here. With this news, I'd like to see it shoot down into here. Shoot down and then come up and invert that and go up. Let's see what happens. Oh, there we go. Here's the news. 10 a.m. Let's get one more little rundown. One more little run. Yeah, $70 resets as well. So did go up a little bit more on that on the resets. All right, here's that little rundown. Now, if we do get a turnaround here, if we hit this area, like I'm thinking, if we can close down in here, then this candle is going to be a bullish order block if we go up. Okay. This is going to close here. Now, if we can come up, create an inversion, this right here is going to be a bullish order block. If we can come up. However, like I said, there is that chance we just run down. But I'd like this to come up and give us a bullish order block here. And go up, but we'll see. See what happens. We got that 4-hour fair value gap that I was mentioning. So we're right at about the midpoint of it right now. I'll jump over to that. Actually, yeah, I'll just go ahead and jump over to it to show you. Here's that 4-hour chart. Here's that fair value gap. We're right at about the midpoint of it now. Let me show it on the 1 minute so you can see. There's the midpoint of it now. It's just hard to believe we're going to go straight through a fresh 4-hour fair value gap. So now this fair value gap right here on this 1 minute, I want to see that become an inversion. All right, patience. Let's see. We traded up through it. Let's see if we can get an inversion here. I would still want it to come up and trade up through this fair value gap here. So I'd want this inversion, which I think, did we just get that? Yeah, we just got this inversion. But I still want it to come up and trade above through here. Like, really let me know you're giving me a market structure shift. Like, because this might not, if it does come up, like, it might not just go like this, right? Like, it very well could do like this, come up, do a bunch of this, do a bunch of this, and then finally go up. So, you gotta be careful. If it even goes up. Chris, you on gold today? You taking a trade? Looking at ES. ES is pretty correlated. YM is correlated, so NQ, YM, and ES are pretty correlated. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just looked over. I glanced at gold. It looks like, man, there was some pretty clean buy side liquidity that it just, after the open, just ran straight through that buy side liquidity. All right, now check this out. If we can come up, you could potentially have a bullish breaker here. And we have, we'll see. So we have this low, high, lower low. If we make a higher high here, we can get a bullish breaker. And then see if we can get a market structure shift. See if we trade through this one. Again, may or may not happen today. We'll see. Because there's a lot of reason for price to come down. We've now rebalanced that 4-hour fair value gap already. Right to the middle, just about to the midpoint. This LM right here I have on my chart, that's the London midpoint of the London range. So oftentimes it'll come back into the London range, and a lot of times it'll come back 50% into the range. So just keep waiting. Just keep waiting. I mean, it did trade pretty clean with this run up, and it might not come back up, but we'll see. We shall see. You just got to be very obvious. Like, I need a very obvious and clean entry, and then from there, target some low-hanging fruit in case if the day is going to be bearish. All right. Let's see what we're looking like here. Clear some of this out. Actually, no. I need to leave that on for my screenshots later. All right, so we took this high right here, but it needs to be, and we have this fair value gap. I'm not going to just long that. Because I need to be sure. We do have an inversion in there. We have this fair value gap. We technically have a market structure shift. Actually, I might long this. Even though we didn't take this 1 minute fair value gap up here. Let's see. I'll need about a 32-point stop. If I go to that 15-minute gap, that's a pretty decent, because I like this area. Yeah, I think I'm going to long this if we come back into this fair value gap. It's not like normally I would like a little bit more to wait a little bit longer, but I like this is the area I was looking to be long from. So since it is pretty much giving me what I was looking for, I may risk it. It's going to be about a 30-ish point stop, but I think I may head up to this 15-minute fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and get long in it right there. And hopefully we don't do another little stop run here. But, and if we, at this 1 minute fair value gap, if I get up here and we really kind of struggle there, I'll probably move to break even. Let's see here. What's this high? About 33 points. Yeah, we'll see. Make sure my accounts. Oh, oops, my P&L is a little bit off there on the screen. I'll have to adjust that. Here, what I can do is just bring this over for now. Like I said, it's the area right here. This is probably this high, or this London high would be the lowest hanging fruit, because we could hesitate here, maybe pull back some, but I'm just going to let it go. See if we go up to that 15-minute fair value gap there. Hit that London high. Yeah, that might be the lowest hanging fruit, but I like how we trade right back up through this. If we hesitate too much, I may close it or move to break even, but I like that we're going to get another little fair value gap in here. I feel pretty safe with my stop where it is. I don't want to move to break even just yet and risk getting stopped out and then it continues. So we'll see. It is a little bit of a chance I'm taking. I think we get back up here to that 15-minute fair value gap. Like I said, if it really struggles up here and can't take this high, then I may close it. We have this 15-minute fair value gap. It really shouldn't trade back down into this one, this lower one where I entered. So let's see what we do here. Don't like how that rejection here, and it's trading straight back through this one, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's pulling. It's coming back pretty hard. Like I say, I'm fine with my stop where it is. If it nails me, then we're just going to be probably bearish on the day. I did expect a little issue right there at that 1 minute gap, like right in this area. I didn't think it'd pull back as hard as it is now, so we'll see. We'll see. It's not looking good though, because it's pulling back a little bit too much. But we are back into this 1 minute fair value gap. If we invert it or just if it takes my stop out, then yeah, then we're probably going to head down lower for sure. It shouldn't come all the way back down here. Yeah. This one's going to be a loser. Like I said, I was taking a little bit of a risk heading for more, but let's see. Where's my entry right here? It got up to about 32 points. Could have taken that, but it really shouldn't have. Oh. Why did it do that? Make sure my... Yeah, I'm flat. I don't know why I got that pop-up. Yeah, rejected right below that London high. Another run down. So that is the risk of basically going... If the price is going to be bearish, that's the risk of going long, right? But, I mean, I liked it. I would still take this trade. It just... Like I said while I was in the trade, it right here, this area, we may experience some difficulty trying to get past it. And sure enough, it hit right there and dropped. So now we did that one more run right down here. I think since we didn't go from there and we made another little stop run here, I don't think we're just going to run these highs yet. We may go lower, but all good. I need to fix that P&L on my chart here. I'll have to fix that later. That happens sometimes. That's why you take the risk. That's why you have your stop in place. And even if I was aiming for that high, we didn't even hit that high. I would have had to close it or move to break even. But I really thought since we didn't quite get into this fair value gap right here, this pullback right into it, I thought we'd hold right around this midpoint, hitting this inversion. Thought we'd hold there and continue up, but that's why I have my stop where I have my stop to invalidate the trade, right? So that's it. That's it for me. No more trades. And that's the thing too. We have this lower fair value gap, so sure enough, it may go higher too. We'll see. I don't know if it will or not, but this area right here, it sure did want to come down into it. Those sometimes those extra. Okay, so this is where, like what I was talking about, the 15-second chart and that conversation with Will. This is where Will, did you take a trade there? Because you might not have if you were dropping down in that 15-second. Because that's where you get that extra confirmation and avoid these last stop runs, I feel like. So if I go to the 15-second chart here, this is where we pulled in. Maybe. We did have... that one's tough. This pullback here. Yeah, we might be done going. We might just be bearish for the day. So yeah. that is right here, that area that I was concerned about. So if you waited to see if price would trade up and close above that, then yeah, that would have saved you on this trade. And that's what I said before I took the trade. It was a little bit, I normally would have wanted to see a trade above this, but I did like this area that it was coming off of. But that is the risk that sometimes it's just not ready. It's going to do another stop run. It's going to come down lower, and it may not go up. So I knew that was a little bit more of a risk than normal, but I took the risk. It went in my favor a little bit. Could have went to break even to kind of, protect it, since I was a little leery about this area. But hey, it is what it is. That's what happens. It's trading. We don't win them all. So just watch that if you're going to continue trading. This area, I believe if we go below this area, this 660, 650, 060, 050 area, right in here, then we may just continue down and try to rebalance those imbalances down there. However, from where we're at now, we may see that displacement up and just really look. We have equal highs, relative equal highs right there now that we may go up through. So just be careful. Let's see, this high right here is 156.75. This high right here, 155.75. So yeah, we may come back up through these relative equal highs right there. But anyways, that's it for me for today. If you would have taken it, you would have moved to break even when you hit. Yeah. And that's what I should have done. But, I should have moved to break even. I almost moved to break even because I was leery of this area. The reason I didn't is because I knew we'd probably pull back from this area. And what I didn't want to happen is it pull back, take me out of break even, and then continue up. But then on the flip side, you have to accept the fact that you could just get stopped out like I did. So all good though. It's a choice, There's going to be days where if you move to break even, you're going to get broke even, and then it's going to run in your favor. And then, hey, you might want to get in after that. Again, that's, you have a lot of different things you can decide on, Okay, if I move to break even, it knocks me out, but then I see it does shift back up and go my direction. Maybe I can hop back in, or maybe I call it a day and preserve my capital, or, be okay with it stopping me out. So those are pretty much all your options there. Just whatever your risk tolerance is, that's what you should go with. But anyways, yep, that's it for me. And y'all know I take one trade per day because that's what my money management allows me for, and that's what my discipline and psychology allows me for. So that's going to be a wrap. And 10:24, yeah, there's still time. Just be patient. And yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for joining on today's stream. And as always, trade well, everybody. Take care.